Hi everyone, and welcome to today's video. Today we are going to be testing out a color corrector. Now this is not new by any means. I believe that this has been out for quite some time, and here it is. This is the Fenty Beauty Match Stick Correcting Skin Stick. Now this retails for $28 US, and you can find it in 4 different color correcting shades. You have a light pink or a cool pink. You also have a yellow, a peach, which is what I got, and an orange. Now depending on your skin tone, you'll want to grab a different shade. The cool pink tone, I believe, is for light complexions. The yellow tone is for light medium to medium complexions. The peach, which is the one that I have, is for medium to medium deep. And of course, the orange is for medium deep to deep complexions. As far as the details, this is supposed to be a very long-wearing and lightweight formula that is meant to not only neutralize but also brighten dark circles as well as hyperpigmentation or just discoloration along the face. Now this has a matte finish and it's also vegan and cruelty-free. Now reading through the website, it does recommend that you use it alongside the Pro Filter concealer, which I do have also by Fenty, but I don't know, because this is a matte formula, but it does also recommend that you use it with their matte concealer. So we're gonna test it out like this, and I also want to test it out alongside my current holy grail concealer, which is this from Hola Beauty. This is her Faux Filter concealer. I wear the shade Sugar Biscuit, which is 3.5N. And in the Fenty concealer, I have 2 shades, but I think I'm going to go with 240 because I just swatched 235, and it's just a little bit too yellow. So here are the swatches up close. This one is the 240 from the Fenty Beauty concealer. This is 3.5N from the Hola Beauty Faux Filter concealer. And this over here, as you can see, a lot more yellow than these other 2. This is 235 from Fenty. All right, so now that we've gotten those swatches out of the way, let's go ahead and apply this onto the skin. As far as how to apply it, you can either apply it with a brush, your finger, straight onto the skin from the stick, whatever you want. I think I'm gonna go straight onto the face with this and then just blend it out with my finger. I think that just makes the most sense. So let's see how much this color corrects and brightens, right? The only thing that I have on under the eyes is my eye cream, my normal skincare. So let's go ahead and blend it out. This indeed does feel very, very lightweight. It feels like nothing under the eyes. But as you can see, it's neutralizing but not completely getting rid of the darkness. You can still see the darkness peeking through, and that's okay. When it comes to color correcting, we're not trying to completely conceal the under eye area with the color corrector. We're just trying to, lessen the level of darkness underneath the eyes so that the concealer can actually do its job rather than trying to do 2 things, which is color correct and conceal. And this actually looks really nice on its own. So let's say you really don't need a whole lot of concealer. You can get away with just wearing this corrector. It is very, very lightweight. Feels like nothing on the skin, truly. And it looks fairly decent underneath the eyes. Let me zoom you guys in so that you can get a better look. All right, so here we are up close. As you can see, it's not completely covering everything, but it is helping to neutralize the under eye area, and it feels very, very lightweight. Let me apply foundation off camera real quick and I'll come back to conceal. All right, I'm back. Foundation is on. Let's continue. Honestly, this on its own, if my darkness underneath the eyes was a bit lighter, I think that this would look great on its own. It looks very nice and light and minimal, but it still does a really good job of neutralizing and just kind of, brightening a little bit underneath the eyes. I see more neutralization than I do brightening, honestly. But anyway, let's continue. Like I said, I'm going to be wearing the Faux Filter concealer, and I'm going to be doing this one on the right side, and then I'll be using the Fenty concealer over on the left side. So let's start off with this right side. And I'm going to use a similar amount as what I would on a regular average day. And I'm going to use the eyeshadow blending brush technique underneath both eyes. Let's start off over here. All right, there's one side. pretty concealed, right? Wouldn't you guys say? Now let's do the left side. I'm gonna get a different blending brush for that. Let me add a tiny bit more of the Fenty concealer right here and right here. Just a tad bit more. I feel like I need just a tiny bit more coverage right here. And the amount that I initially started out with, it just didn't spread as far back as I would have liked it to. So that's why I added a little bit more back here. The darkness underneath my left side versus my right side, it spreads a bit more. So over here, the darkness is not just right here along the inner corner, it kind of goes almost along the entire under eye area. Whereas the darkness that I have over here, it's primarily right here. All right, so there's that. I think I'm gonna need to set it. I mean, I usually set my concealers, but with this corrector, definitely. It is settling a little bit right here. I don't know if you guys can see it over here. And I know that it is the color corrector and not the concealer because for one, I've used this concealer over and over and over again. It doesn't really settle in between fine lines, but for two, I kept the concealer mostly down here and I see the settling like right underneath the eye. So I know that it is the corrector. And the same, I'm getting the same over here. So let me blend this out. I'm taking my Oma Beauty Trip and Smooth setting powder and I'm trying to find a clean brush. This is the longest I've gone without washing my brushes. You guys should see the pile. I really don't want to face it. I'm not looking forward to it. So I'm just going to take a bit with this huge brush. This is actually a cheek brush, but I'm going to use it underneath the eyes today. This is the Tapered Cheek number F36 brush from Sigma Beauty. I'm just taking a tiny bit of the setting powder and just gently patting it into place. All right, I do not like it like this. Holy cow, does the under eye area look terrible, okay? It looks terrible. After setting it, it just, like, my concealer's disappeared. It looks super dry. I don't like it like this. Let me zoom you guys in. What in the world is going on here? I hate it. I hate it like this. I think I'm gonna wash it off and try different concealers because this I cannot deal with all day. All right, I washed my face. I applied foundation once again, and I applied the color corrector underneath the eyes once again. Let's try this over with more hydrating concealers, I guess. So for this, I'm going to be using the NYX Bear With Me Concealer Serum, and I'm also going to be using the Makeup Revolution Eye Bright Illuminating Under Eye Concealer. I'm just going to take a little bit of the NYX concealer with a blending brush. That way I know that I'm not applying too much and that I have better control of where I'm applying the concealer because not the whole under eye area doesn't need it. It's just right here. So I'm using a very small amount because I also want to eliminate the possibility of this settling into fine lines so that hopefully we don't have to set it. But I mean, if we set it, it shouldn't be too big of an issue, or I would have assumed that it wouldn't be, but it was with the last two concealers. So let's see. And on the other side, I'm using my Makeup Revolution concealer. So the shade that I'm using over here on the left side from the Makeup Revolution concealer, that one is a bit deeper. It conceals better, obviously. This one's in the shade Warm Tan. I really like that shade because it really does help to neutralize the under eye area. So we're like double neutralizing over here, which should, in theory, help conceal without using too much product. So that looks better. However, I'll still need to set it. Look, it's still settling into fine lines underneath the eyes. So I'm going to set it very lightly again. This time, instead of using my Oma Beauty powder, I'm going to be using my Say powder. This one is, what is this called? The Air Set Radiant Loose Setting Powder. And this is in the shade Translucent. It has a little bit of a yellow, like a yellowness to it. So it may help to brighten a little bit because of the shade. So I'm just gonna Oof, you see, it's like really settling, heavy. So let me blend this out and then set it. Oh my gosh. As soon as you set it, it's like all of the coverage goes away. Look at that. Everything just starts to move and not look as nice. It's frustrating me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, it really is. Let's try to set the left side. So I'm gonna blend that out since it has collected there pretty heavily. I'm gonna set it. And I want you guys to know, I'm not like rubbing this. I am literally just patting the product under the eyes. Oh my gosh. This is frustrating me just a little bit. It's still settling. Let me bring you guys in. You can see what this looks like under the eyes. And yeah, let me just bring you guys in. All right, do you see what I mean? The coverage is no longer there and it's still settling. And I really don't like the way that this is sitting underneath the eyes. You know what? I don't know if I've ever done this. If I have, it may have been maybe just, I don't know, one other time, two other times, but we're gonna call it done right here. I was gonna push myself and wear it throughout the day, but I figure what's the point if it doesn't even look decent when starting off the day? Like, why am I gonna do that? I already know that I'm not gonna like it, and I already know that it's not gonna wear well, at least not underneath my eye area. So for that, I've tried it. At this point, I've tried it with 2 different setting powders, and I've tried it with 4 different concealers, 2 of which I absolutely love. Actually, 3 of which I really like. And even the Fenty one, it's not that bad. But it still looks awful. Now, it is a very, very lightweight formula. It definitely is. But because it is kind of creamy as well, it's kind of like, it feels like a cream turned powder-ish type of a texture. I don't know if that makes sense, but it really does feel very lightweight and kind of powder-like, but it settles into every nook and cranny underneath the eyes. It just feels like it's supposed to be matte, but it's still like kind of weirdly hydrating, but it's not hydrating in the best way because it's just sitting in between fine lines, and it just looks kind of powdery slash liquidy. I don't know. I don't really know how to describe it. I'm a little frustrated, which is probably why I can't come up with the best descriptive words for this. I don't like it. I really don't like it. And there's no point in me wearing it all day if I know at the end of the day, I don't like it. I really don't. Maybe by itself, it might be fine. But if you are going to wear it by itself, then 2 things. You're not really going to get a whole lot of coverage. And so you may not completely neutralize the under eye area. If you're okay with that, then of course that's fine. But it will settle into fine lines. So you may have to set it. And if you set it for whatever reason, the coverage just like disappears. So yeah, unless you are planning on just perhaps color correcting around the face, like anywhere else very, very minimally, or even underneath the eyes very lightly, then I would say it's probably not worth it, unfortunately. No, not for me. So that completes today's video. I know it wasn't much of a review. I mean, maybe not. I didn't wear it all day. That's the only thing that's going to be lacking in this video. But yeah, I'm glad I tried it. Now I know I don't like it, and I know why. So thank you guys so much for watching. I truly hope that you enjoyed this rambly type of video and that you found it helpful in some way, shape, or form. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on future videos. And also don't forget to follow me over on Instagram, where I absolutely love to interact with you guys. As always, take care, and I will see you all in my next video. Mwah! Bye.